Cupid's second alarm went off at 6:05 a.m., and the snooze button only protested mildly when he smacked it with the heel of his hand. The first alarm had been a lyre ringtone, set to pastoral gentle, meant to remind him of greener centuries. The second was a foghorn that simply bellowed, "Love!" every 3 seconds. Neither felt especially romantic anymore. Valentine's week, now officially stretched to 9 days by a lobby of florists and chocolatiers, had arrived again. The job used to be a 1-day sprint, with plenty of time afterward to polish arrows, flirt with muses, and maybe binge a Renaissance comedy. These days it was an eternal treadmill. Birthdays, engagements, dating app soft launches, divorce announcement do-overs. The backlog in his celestial inbox scrolled on like an ancient papyrus that someone kept unrolling down a marble staircase. Cupid, patron saint of romantic collision, had become exactly what the poets warned against. Tired, he peered into the mirror above his cloud vanity and sighed at the quiver-shaped bags under his eyes. I'm 2 missed cappuccinos, away from accidentally pairing twin siblings, he muttered. That was an exaggeration. He had a robust internal compliance department. But the fear felt real. Something had to give. He flopped onto a cloud sofa, pulled a gold tablet from under a blush-colored throw pillow, and opened the TaskRabbit for Mythic Beings app, Pantheon Pal. What he needed was scalable labor, easily dispensable, and unlikely to form a union within the week. Cherubs, too giggly and union-prone. Butterflies, gorgeous but easily distracted by bright sweaters. Pigeons, ubiquitous, cheap, impossible to scandalize. They literally already delivered messages for humans. How hard could Aero Logistics be? With the shaky confidence of a divine being who'd read only the headline of an MBA article, he created a listing. Freelance pigeons needed. Light aerial delivery. Must handle minimal pointy objects. Competitive breadcrumb compensation. Within minutes, the sign-ups flooded in. Percival, Pina, Gooch, Lady Beak-Beak, and 1,000 more. They were, to put it mildly, underemployed. One had a demo reel showing him dodging a toddler's stomping feet in Central Park. Another claimed to have shadowed Hermes once, though his only reference was a blurry selfie with a winged sandal in the frame. Even so, Cupid checked the Select All box and hit higher. By midday, the birds had arrived at the cloud dock for orientation. It was less a dock than a wobbly plank of airborne vapor roped to cumulus bollards. The pigeons milled, cooing and shedding a confetti of gray feathers. Cupid projected a PowerPoint titled Love Logistics 101 against a patch of sky. Slide 1, he announced, clicking a heart-shaped remote. Arrows go in hearts, not thighs, biceps, or, please, buttocks. Any questions? A wing shot up. Define heart anatomically, Gooch asked, tilting his head. Is it literal? Metaphorical? We're birds. Our spatial reasoning is mostly bred or not bred. Cupid swallowed. Aim for the chest region. Center mass. Close enough is good enough. Follow-up question, Pina called. Are we covered by divine insurance? Next slide, Cupid said brightly, revealing a color-coded spreadsheet of target pairs. Every row was a tiny map pin shaped like a heart, linking 2 human names and GPS coordinates. The sooner you all start, the sooner I can take my first day off since the 100 Years' War. Good luck, fly true, and remember, love may be blind, but you shouldn't be. The pigeons grabbed quivers proportionate to their size. Cupid had miniaturized the arrows to cocktail toothpick scale and launched into the mortal airspace. He watched them disappear through the cirrus boundary and felt a weight lift from his shoulders. Finally, he brewed a hot cocoa added a scandalous amount of whipped cream, and settled into a cloud hammock to fantasize about 8 straight hours of dreamless, uncomplicated sleep. The first alert came 15 minutes later. Match confirmed. Probably. Then another. Delivery completed. Something happened. Cupid rubbed his temples and opened the incident feed. Case 17821. Target A, Dennis Wu, pastry chef. Target B, Miranda Staples, paramedic. Outcome, Dennis now hopelessly in love with his air fryer. Cupid blinked. Surely a typo. Case, Malvoisin 7822. Target A, Judge Ellen Garcia. Target B, Florist Wallace O'Neill. Outcome, Wallace romantically attached to a parking meter outside the courthouse. Judge Garcia swooning over the bailiff's service baton. Cupid's cocoa tipped over the hammock's edge and rained whipped cream on the unsuspecting nimbus below. He leapt to his feet, launched the crisis dashboard, and scrolled faster. Everywhere, pigeons were tagging the wrong humans, inanimate objects, and in 2 extraordinary cases, themselves. The normally violet success bar had turned the color of a bruise. He activated the emergency broadcast. All pigeons returned to Cloud Dock immediately. Repeat, dock now! Crumbs later. One by one, the birds circled back, some proudly, some sheepishly, some slightly singed. Percy the pigeon wobbled in last, carrying a titanium arrow bent like a question mark. Cupid inhaled through his nose, exhaled through his halo. Debrief, please. What part of this spreadsheet is sacred? Was unclear. Lady Beak preened. The columns were labeled A and B, but the rows were numbered. Our kind navigates by magnetic field and breadcrumb density, not Excel syntax. I even tried VLOOKUPs, boss. Percy chimed in. Excel crashed mid-flight. Classic cloud issue. Cupid massaged his temples. Humans now think their office chairs are soulmates. A man in Boise proposed to his Wi-Fi router. That's on him, Pina muttered. Who names a router Sweet Angel 5G and expects no feelings? The deity resisted the urge to turn anyone into a decorative fountain. Fine. We regroup. We test. We simplify. He pulled the heart remote again, replaced the spreadsheet with a single slide. 2 photos. One of Dennis Wu, one of Miranda Staples, arrows forming a clean loop between them. Match A. 1 arrow in Dennis, 1 arrow in Miranda. The order does not matter. Think of them as breadcrumbs. You want both crumbs to meet. Gooch raised a wing. What if the wind changes mid-flight? Then adjust your trajectory. What if a pretzel vendor offers snacks? Ignore snacks. The pigeons cooed discontentedly. Snacks were sort of the whole incentive structure. Cupid exhaled, then produced mason jars filled with artisanal crumbs. Successful matches equal premium croutons. Fail and you get... He summoned a smaller jar labeled stale stuff. This. The flock straightened up. Nothing motivates like bread hierarchy. Cupid assigned them again, each with exactly 2 arrows. They departed. He waited. 15 minutes later, his divine smartwatch pinged. Match success. Dennis Wu, plus random statue. 30 seconds after that, Miranda Staples, plus Dennis Wu's air fryer. Again. Cupid hurled the watch across the cloud. It passed through vapor and plummeted toward Earth. Somewhere, a barista would find a glowing Fitbit in his latte foam. This was untenable. Outsourcing wasn't the problem. Quality control was. He needed a real system, not a flock of crumb-drunk birds improvising geometry. With a sigh, he flung open the cupboards of the Celestial Workshop and retrieved a dusty relic. The Archery Simulator 3000, last used to train Valkyries in the fine art of encouraging Vikings toward glorious afterlives. With a few tweaks and a hot pink paint job, it could gamify romantic targeting. By dawn the next day, The cloud dock resembled an esports arena. Neon signs blinked. Level 1. Find the heart. A giant holographic cityscape floated before them, each building topped with a glowing bullseye. Pigeons lined up holding controllers fashioned from repurposed quills. The rules were simple. Hit the designated human avatars. Avoid lampposts, pets, and vending machines. High score earned a gold bagel. They practiced until sunset. Gooch demolished the leaderboard, squawking in triumph. Pina discovered a hidden cheat code that turned arrows into sparkly hearts, but otherwise stayed on target. Even Percy, shaky when sober, gained high precision once given decaf espresso beans. Satisfied, Cupid reissued the real assignments. "Remember," he said, "the world is basically the simulator, plus weather and existential dread. You've got this." The pigeons saluted. More accurately, they bobbed their heads in a motion reminiscent of tiny feathered tanks. Off they flew, a squadron of renewed purpose. The first updates. Dennis Wu paired with Miranda Staples. Mutual affection confirmed over burned croissants. Cupid pumped a fist. Second update. Judge Garcia plus Wallace O'Neill. Shared bouquet. Legal pun flirting. Success. Third. Teenager accidentally in love with algebra textbook, but it might be personal growth. Unclear. Cupid grimaced, but allowed a margin of error. Over the next hour, successes climbed while fiascos plummeted. The deity even lounged in his hammock again, reading fan mail from reunited soulmates. Maybe, just maybe, things would be normal. Naturally, that's when the pigeons went on strike. They assembled at noon on the cloud dock, tiny picket signs dangling from beaks. More crumb, less pressure, wages for wingtips. No more emotional labor without therapy seeds. Pina, now elected spokesperson, cleared her throat. "Our mission statement," she proclaimed, "demands fair compensation, scheduled molting leave, and hazard pay for navigating fireworks on human holidays." Cupid almost laughed. He, a god older than recorded complaints, bested by a labor union made of city birds. "You realize you are pigeons?" "Exactly," Percy said. "We're everywhere. Block our labor, and your inbox backlog grows until Earth runs out of rom-com plots." Cupid considered blasting them into decorative fountains after all, but remembered that PR matters. Plus, smiting birds mid-negotiation screamed, "Bad optics!" Instead, he forced a smile. "What's your proposal?" Lady Beak fluttered forward, unfurling a crumpled napkin from a Times Square hot dog stand. It read, 1. Seed dental coverage, gravel subsidies. 2. Performance bonuses in artisanal breadcrumbs. 3. Creative latitude, occasional freestyle matchmaking. Cupid squinted. Define freestyle. "Once a shift," Gooch explained. "We pick a pair ourselves. We see things humans miss. Rooftop melancholies, park bench longings. Give us that trust." The deity paced the dock. Granting pigeons creative license invited chaos, but perhaps in moderation could yield delightful surprises. And he couldn't risk a strike during Valentine's high season. "Fine," he said. "Trial basis. 1 freestyle pair per bird per week. Abuse it, and I revoke your croutons." A cheer of cooing erupted. The flock dispersed, scribbling ideas on sunflower seed husks. The next day, Cupid monitored deliveries with cautious optimism. The normal matches held steady, and arrow accuracy remained high. That evening, the freestyle picks rolled in. Freestyle number 1, elderly widower Marvin Laureate, Palt's retired school janitor Kristen Park, met at community center Scrabble night, now inseparable. Cupid smiled. Lovely. Freestyle number 2, street musician Coco DeLune, plus golden retriever named Marshmallow, questionable, but apparently Marshmallow's owner Bashir Noticed Coco during the dog's sudden affection and asked her to dinner. Cupid upgraded to acceptable. Freestyle number 3, Statue of Liberty. Eiffel Tower, long distance. Holographic postcards exchanged. Cupid sighed, but filed it under symbolic gestures, no harm done. Things stabilized. Love blossomed. The gig birds hummed along. Cupid finally took a vacation. 3 whole days on an uncharted atoll, drinking coconut water and reading ancient sonnets. He returned refreshed, sporting coral-colored sunglasses, only to discover the pigeons had created a spin-off startup, Love Loft Logistics. We deliver hearts farther, faster, feather-powered. They'd built a website featuring testimonials, stock photos of chocolates, and a video clip of Gooch in slow-motion flight, set to an inspirational ukulele track. Cupid shouldn't have been surprised. Freelancers become entrepreneurs. It's axiomatic. But Love Loft had a slogan that chilled him. Skip the middle god. Go direct! He summoned the flock to his office, which now, to their eyes, looked less like a divine command center and more like corporate HQ for a soon-to-be disrupted industry. Is this a coup? He asked. No, Pina said, smoothing a tiny necktie. It's vertical integration. Percy nodded. We still value your brand equity. Think of yourself as chairman emeritus. Cupid tried not to imagine Hermes, Athena, or, gods forbid, Zeus laughing at him in the celestial break room. You're shipping love arrows without a license, he warned. My license. There are cosmic regulations, karmic taxes, Eros bylaws. Lady Beak waved a clawed foot. We've retained cherub consultants for compliance. Very giggly but effective. He was outmaneuvered. Or maybe evolution had simply marched on. Fragmented attention spans. Micro-influencers. Same-day shipping for affection. Why shouldn't pigeons run that? He dropped into a swivel cloud chair. What do you want from me? He asked finally. We'd like to keep you on as chief relationship architect, Gooch said. Set long-term vision. Host the occasional webinar. Minimal daily oversight. Generous stock options. Tons of breadcrumbs. Cupid considered. The truth was, retirement at least halfway appealed to him. He'd been poking mortals with sharpened objects for millennia. Perhaps delegating wasn't defeat. Maybe it was evolution. Fine, he said, extending a hand. But I keep creative veto power. No vending machines, routers, or national monuments as primary matches without my blessing. Deal, Pina agreed, bumping his fingertip with her beak. The pigeons fluttered in collective approval. Immediately, they began brainstorming Q2 synergy expansions. Carrier seagulls for coastal markets, romantic drones for rural areas, heart-shaped contrails for brand awareness. Cupid strolled to the balcony overlooking Earth. Twilight cloaked the cities in gentle lavender. Neon signs blinked. Lovers strolled. Somewhere, a former janitor and Scrabble champion danced under string lights. The god inhaled cool air scented with stardust and maybe a hint of bagels. For the first time in eons, he felt light. Then a push notification popped up on his conjured tablet. Urgent! Algorithm-matched subway rat! Your 672 with influencer Tallulah Moon! Media frenzy imminent! Cupid sighed, but a small grin tugged at his mouth. Pina, he called. Assemble the crisis karaoke team. We're gonna spin this rodent romance into a viral charity campaign. In the distance, pigeons revved up, wings shimmering beneath moonlight. If love was messy, unpredictable, and occasionally rodent-shaped, well, so be it. Order was overrated. Affection found its path through feathers, glitches, and misfired arrows. And Cupid, newly minted chief relationship architect, leaned into the chaos with open arms. After all, he thought, love always was a little cuckoo.